Welcome to Empowered. I'm your host, Jessica Flynn of thejessicaflynn.com, and our show is dedicated to unleashing local wisdom for widespread impact. And we're committed to inspiring positive change and empowerment in our small corner of the world and beyond. Today, joining us, we have someone dedicated to supporting and empowering women entrepreneurs and to significantly increasing the number of women entrepreneurs in Canada. Amanda Wilson-Ciocci is the founder of the Monarch Co and creative force behind Monarch Momentum. She is a community builder, a launch strategist and business expert, best-selling two-time author, cancer survivor, and mother of 3. Her mission is simple yet profound: to illuminate the world, creating positive ripple effects by inspiring you to do what you love. Without further ado, let's chat with Amanda.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. Amanda's also a good friend of mine. And so this is fun for us in such a special way to kick off this project. So thank you for coming and for saying yes to this opportunity.
Heck yes.
You're a leader in helping other women say heck yes and follow their passions. So my first question is quite a big one. It's why this work? Why women? And maybe perhaps to frame it, what brought you to founding the Monarch Co?
Great question. Big question.
Big question.
So the story behind the Monarch Co is really one of determination, of resilience, and impact. And I started this company when I was at a time when I lost my job, my steady 9 to 5. I was in a new town. I had just bought a new home. We have 3 children that we had to provide for.
No stress.
No stress.
No.
And the thought of returning to a steady 9 to 5 was really just soul crushing to me. Mm-hmm. So after an inspiring conversation one night, a fire was lit up under me, and I decided to start this company. And to this day, the company is focused on empowering women in business so that they can also start, grow, build, scale, and create legacy and impact with the work they're doing in this world, because I really do believe that women can change the world for the better.
That's a really big mission, and you set yourself up for a big task. So in the intro, we talked about your personal mission to increase the number of women entrepreneurs in Canada. Can you tell us a little bit about that landscape and what's exciting you about it?
Mm-hmm. I really believe that women have the ability to create positive change and massive ripple effects in this world. And we're really seeing this in the community, both locally and globally. So part of the Canadian mission, along with the government and along with our own mission, is to really increase the number of women in business, because when we do increase the number of women in business, we increase the GDP, we also increase the positive impacts that are happening, right here at home. Women in business making money has positive impacts on children, on families, on communities, and the global scale at large.
And not to put you on the spot, because we didn't talk about this, but I'm thinking, I have heard that when women have wealth, they're more involved in philanthropy and charitable organizations. And have you seen that as well in your experience?
Absolutely, 100%. And that social impact is really big. So sustainability, innovation, really, really strong in when women are in business and get creative and get innovative, because they are thinking about all these other aspects that they're also thinking about: families, community, impact, and change.
Yeah. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the Monarch Co, which has a variety of services that support women in business. But in really the heart of that has this Monarch Momentum, which is a community of women in business that I happen to be in and get so much value of. So can you tell us about the community, maybe the motivation behind it, because it's relatively new in the last year, coming up on a year.
Yeah.
So what is it? Who is it for? Why did it happen?
Yeah, so Monarch Momentum is a membership community for women in business. And it is really for women in business who are looking to grow, start, scale their businesses in community so that they can have the resources, the support, the accountability, the opportunities that are available to them when you are part of a community that is really standing behind you. And the impact of this community is absolutely huge. So just in this past year, We've had business owners start businesses, scale businesses, hit 6 figures, scale to 7 figures, become thought leaders, speakers, podcast hosts, TV hosts, and even most recently, best-selling authors.
Wow. That's nothing to shy away from. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And in your experience, because you're also coming to this, your mentorship, with 20 years of business experience and launch experience. So what is the difference between kind of getting coaching and maybe mentorship and existing in a community?
Well, I think both are really necessary, and that is why I created Monarch Momentum, is because it has both. So it has opportunities for professional development, education, and training, which is actually one of the main reasons why women fail in business is the lack of education and resources. And the other reason that they fail in business is the lack of consistent community. So I really wanted a space where women could have access to both professional development, education, training, and community, because we aren't meant to do this alone. And community is really key when we're looking to thrive and increase our impact and legacy with the work that we're doing.
And in my experience, the community has not only offered like accountability and some structure to my professional development, but also networking and connections and collaborative opportunities. So have you seen some of that kind of magic come out of the community as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, we just launched this last Women's Day last year, so we're coming up on our year anniversary. And we've put out an impact report, so lots of information coming in showing how Monarchs are collaborating with other members in the community, starting new businesses, referring partners, becoming clients, and just helping to amplify each other's impact and really help each other succeed in business.
Right. So part of empowerment in our view is the education piece. So what types of things are these women learning in the community? Can you give us some examples of topics and events that you run throughout the year?
Yeah, for sure. So we're teaching anything, both the hard and soft skills. So really looking at business foundations. So, you're looking at your marketing, your sales, your strategic business decisions, finance, legal, and then you're looking at thought leadership and communication and empowerment and inspiration. So we bring in trainers, guest speakers, really thought leaders to come in every month inside Monarch Momentum and do professional development trainings to help gain that momentum, which is what it's all about in life and business. So really a holistic view to both life and business within the community.
And another thing I think that's being spoken more about is women supporting women in business and community and collaboration over competition. So what do you see the future of women in business to look like?
Really, I see the future of business and women in business being part of that as a landscape of inspiration, one based on sustainability, integrity, and impact. And I think women are a really big part of that. Like we talked about earlier, just really focusing on how can we make this world a better place and how can we do this in community, in collaboration, because when we work together, we can accomplish so much more.
Absolutely, absolutely. I had an older woman in business ask me once, why do you share so much other women's, or what they have going on in other women's businesses? And I found that so interesting because the way that business was done not that long ago is quite different than the landscape that's, this ecosystem that the Monarch Co is a part of and helping to foster. So I know as a woman in business, rising up together also sounds like a lot more fun.
Yeah, absolutely more fun. And we all know as entrepreneurs, the journey can feel lonely, right? We're doing all these things, working behind the scenes on our business. Often we're home alone doing these things. So really being part of a community allows you to see the bigger picture and the impact that you have and really have that motivation when you're not feeling motivated to get things done or not feeling motivated to get to that next step. So communities can really help you provide that motivation, but also give you opportunities for expansion, because sometimes we like to stay cozy and comfortable in our little cocoons, right? And so it's really important to be part of something that helps you expand and push past those boundaries.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. In your intro, we talked about yourself as a cancer survivor as well as a mama of 3. So before we go to break, can you talk to us a little bit about your personal why behind your business in this community?
Personal why is really to be a global citizen, to impact this world in a really positive way and create something that makes this world a better place, not only for my own children, but other generations that are coming up along with them. And, you know, being a cancer survivor really taught me the value of time, and really taught me that we never know what's around the corner, and we never know, you know, what's going to happen. So do what you love now, do what you can to make a positive impact, because now is what you have, and this is what you have to focus on.
What a great message. Do what you love, and share what you have now. After the break, we're going to talk about your book, and you and I actually wrote a book together too. And this is reminding me of something actually in my chapter, that sometimes we put off our dreams to some elusive future. But the work that you're doing truly empowers women to take those ideas. Do you call them heart babies? I forget what they heart babies, mind babies, and release them. And what I learned through the author experience is that sometimes we're so afraid to share our stories, but they're the stories that others need to hear.
Absolutely.
And so in you following your dream and creating this vision, it's helped so many other women, and then the women and other people that they impact, and that butterfly effect, which we'll talk about after the break. So we are going to take a short break and then come back and speak with Amanda Wilson-Ciocci about her best-selling books. There are two. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm your host, Jessica Flynn, and today we have Amanda Wilson-Ciocci of the Monarch Co. In addition to being the founder of the Monarch Co. and the creative force behind Monarch Momentum, Amanda is also a two-time best-selling author. And here I have her very first book, launched just over a year and a half ago, The Monarch and her signature 8 method. So before we begin talking about the book, I'm going to have a conversation with Amanda about the inspiration behind a book and what book writing can do for a business. So, Amanda, tell us about your journey to becoming an author. Is this something you had thought about for a long time? What was that spark that ignited this journey for you?
Yeah, I absolutely love writing. It's always been part of something that I love doing. I don't know that I ever thought that I would write a book, especially a business book, but but definitely something I love. I write, I journal, all of the things. And this opportunity really came across my plate when I started the Monarch Co. I had a signature program, Monarch Business Academy. And the book was really, the why behind the book is the butterfly effect. So how can I increase the impact? How can I reach more people at an accessible level? And so the book really includes all the steps that are included in my signature business and launch program, Monarch Business Academy, but in a book that gives you the same inspiration, some gold nuggets, and some home fun to work on at an accessible level.
Right, and a big part of your mission is to inspire positivity and this ripple effect, the butterfly effect. So a physical book is something that can, expand outside of a community. It's more accessible price point. Tell us about your journey of actually creating it and now becoming a published, not only published, but best-selling author. What was that experience like?
I always say that writing a book is not for the faint of heart. It is a process that can break you open in ways that you can't expect. It's a healing process. As you're writing, you're going back to those memories, you're going back to those moments, you're writing through them. And you're also thinking about who you're writing for, so the impact of that reader. When you're writing, you're visualizing that person holding that book and reading it in their cozy corner and really wanting to speak to their heart and their mind and really have it resonate and land. And so that sort of pressure in writing a book can seem overwhelming, but really it's coming back to your why of why you want to do it, why you want to write this, and the impact that you want to have with it.
Right, yeah. Thinking about that reader, that makes me nervous. So like once you're not in the room to explain or to like footnote, it's just out there. But so we're gonna dive in a little bit to your signature 8 method. So this was kind of the foundation of the work you do in your business to support entrepreneurs, as well as kind of the inspiration behind the community. So I'm gonna list the signature 8 method. So dream it, know it, be it, give it, build it, reach it, launch it, and love it. Mm-hmm. You don't see love it a lot in like a business methodology, so we'll talk about that soon. But why do you start with the dream it, and how is that connected to, you know, your special formula for empowering women in business?
I think it's really important for women in business to be really clear on what it is that they want and what that vision is. So really to be able to dream big and not keep themselves small. So really dream something that's bigger than they ever could imagine is possible, and really something that's going to light them up and that they love. So it connects back to the love it piece. So what is something that you're super passionate about that if you could just snap your fingers and make happen? What is that dream? What is that big dream for you? What is that going to give you, and why is that important? So getting really anchored in on that dream when you go to start a business or you go to launch an offer is really going to give you the momentum and the connection to why that work is so important.
It was new to me when I went through the program, and it's now talking about that butterfly effect, how we kick off talking about entrepreneurship with our youth through our youth programs. So I do know from experience that it's such an important launch pad when you're deciding to go down this, you know, entrepreneurial path that is filled with twists and turns and challenges, and having that steadfast vision is so important. And so the next section, we won't go through each one, but the know it and understanding your why. You also in your coaching, you know, and in the book, you have some very straightforward, like, do this if you're feeling this way, maybe don't do that. So talk to us about, you know, the type of personality that's maybe meant to be an entrepreneur, or how you support those who are maybe not sure, all the different types of personalities that you've seen through your book and your program.
Yeah. I think the first part of that question is really coming back to the know it. So when you're starting a business or you're creating offers, it's really important for you to know what you're doing, why you're creating it. One of my favorite quotes is Simon Sinek. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So it's really important to get to the core why and the mission and the impact of what it is that you're looking to do. But then also know who you're doing it for. So often we create businesses or offers that we like ourselves, and we really need to be thinking about who it is that we're serving. So really know who it is that we're serving, why we want to do this, and what impact that's going to have on them. So your ideal client avatars, really. And you know, this book, this program, this community is really meant for anyone that has that spark inside them, that knows that they need to get something out in the world, that they want to create a business that has impact, that has legacy, that's going to create something that has a positive impact. It's going to build wealth for themselves and their family and their communities. So it's just that inner knowing that you need to do something and you need to be part of something to make that happen.
Right, and you have built this incredible program and community that, you know, when you have that knowing, can be amplified and supported so that people can birth, so to speak, their businesses. But you didn't just stop there. So you wrote one, and it was a bestseller, and you thought, hey, that was fun. Let's do that again. So, and I actually came on this journey with you, and we co-authored, there was 12 of us total, this book called One Decision Away. So we'll start with, you know, tell us about why this was really your idea of bringing us together to write this book. Why? And tell us about your inspiration there.
I mean, it really comes back to the mission and impact and legacy. So I really believe that everyone has a story to share, and that stories are inspiring and can really change lives. And so showing and highlighting the amazing women that are in the Monarch community and giving them an opportunity to share their story and inspire others really is that butterfly effect. It's spreading that knowledge, it's spreading that information and that inspiration so that other people can see in other stories, hey, this is possible for me. Hey, look at what they did. Oh, I could do that in my life. So really wanting to highlight the amazing women that are inside this community, what they're doing, and then really amplify that impact.
Mm-hmm. And in business, you lead with heart, but you are a strategist at the core. You don't play around, you don't waste time. So tell us about, too, kind of the business impact and what's possible for someone when they become an author and a best-selling author.
Huge. I mean, the impact is huge. And I mean, we're seeing it live right now on TV, right? Authors are becoming TV hosts, thought leaders, speakers. It just opens the doors for more opportunities because you get really clear on your messaging, you get really clear on who you're able to help. And then you really step into that role of, I can do this, I can show up for people, I can help people, and this is how I can do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's a smart business decision, right? To invest this time and to, when you only have a chapter or even, your whole book of, 200 pages, you have to really consolidate and what is the most value? What am I really trying to say here? That concise language and leading with impact in mind, like what is the change, the transformation that I want to make, and how does that translate to the page? So you're a master at that. Will there be a third book?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. It's like tattoos. Once you have one, you're addicted, you keep writing. Well, that's exciting. We'll be excited to follow up with that. Going back to the Monarch Momentum community, can you give us some specifics about who is in the community, what kinds of businesses are being created and grown and scaled in this container?
Yeah, absolutely. So within the community, there's a range of women in business in different niches and industries. And we have women in business who are in health and wellness. So everything from personal training to holistic nutrition to cold plunges and breath work to thought leadership and influencing, sharing their personal stories and impacting women with early onset Parkinson's. We have women in education who are starting alternative education schools, youth empowerment programs. We have women in business who are in legal, finance, business, helping other women in business really build those strong foundations so that they can go out in the world and do the work that they're meant to sustainably and really with impact. And most recently, as we just talked about, there's authors, speakers, thought leaders in the community. So there's a wide range of businesses in there with women who are just absolutely lit up about the work that they're doing and here to make a positive impact with the work.
And at what stage of their business do they typically find you? Like, I'm picturing a butterfly finding the light, going towards the light. When do women typically decide that they need support or that they're ready for support? When's the best time for someone to come into mentorship and community like that?
It's a great question, and really there's a range of where they are in their, I call it the metamorphosis. So whether
Love all
you're
these analogies. Love that.
Whether you're at the caterpillar stage of crawling along and thinking, oh my gosh, how do I figure business out? I don't know what is the next thing, what is the next step? I don't have any clarity. So really, starting a business, starting to grow a business, that's, you're welcome inside the community. If you're growing a business, so you're expanding from that one-to-one to one-to-many, and you're starting to hire a team and scale, then really looking at how do we, systemize and simplify our systems, and how do we get the procedures in place so that we can build and scale businesses and step out of them so that we can grow them in other ways and focus on other creative projects. And then, the flying, it's the amplifying the impact, building those collaborations, those connections. So we really have businesses in a different range in all aspects based on where they are in their business inside the community.
Right. Yeah, there's no bad time to receive support, right? And I also think there's no bad time to become part of a community. You're always ready and you're able to receive ongoing. So that's great. And during the break, we were actually talking a little bit about that earlier question of how you envision the future of business for women, but we're going to rephrase that and come back to it as we wrap, which is, what is just the future of business, period, not specific to women? I'm excited to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I really think that the future of business is one that is collaborative, that is equitable, that is inclusive, that includes all types of, businesses and communities really working together to be sustainable, to be innovative, and really make a positive impact on this world.
Like networks, right? With a little bit of feminine energy, like more of a balance of the masculine and feminine, as opposed to just, completely going the opposite direction. I know in my own business, I really value that balance of masculine and feminine energy and community.
Well, and I think in a community, there aren't just women in community, there are men in community, there's a whole range of people inside communities, and so we need to be all working together to really amplify our impact and what we can do to, like I said, make this world a better place.
Absolutely. Well, I think the world of business, period, is in better hands because you are doing the work that you are doing. I'm certainly here because of the support that I've gotten from you and the community. So continue to follow your heart and widen that impact. So thank you for joining us today, Amanda. And thank you for tuning in. Every episode, you can expect a journey into the heart of empowerment, where the wisdom of our small community transforms into widespread impact to wherever you are. Make sure to catch our next conversation on Rogers TV, as well as my YouTube channel at the Jessica Flynn. Until then.